A more social organization brings, in my views, many types of benefits. The benefit is linked to engagement, engaging the workforce, engaging the customers, the stakeholders at large, the ecosystem. And I believe it's key to businesses in the modern era, which is the era of network, where people are looking for connection, not just a connection on products or the use of products, but connection on purpose. You know, what is the purpose that this company follows, how the company can engage and involve the stakeholders in following this purpose, and stakeholders include employees. So I believe social is the main asset for companies to thrive in the 21st century, because we have to transform ourselves. We are no longer in an era where we can broadcast, we can push our messages to passive audiences. Audiences are no longer passive. They are empowered. They are now in control. They can check the information by themselves. They can spread at scale right or wrong information. They can claim their dissatisfaction about a bad service or a bad product. So really, companies have to understand that the time of crafting a perfect message and sending it out and letting it unchanged so that people will understand, because it was said very nicely. This time is gone, it's dead. Now we have to reorganize our companies so that we are in a capacity to engage in a dialogue. And in a dialogue, you never know what the person will say, will answer, or will ask. So you have to be flexible enough to be comfortable with this dialogue. So it has a lot of consequences on the way companies are driven, or on the way talents are selected, on the way the business is made, basically. Because you don't anymore control everything from the top of the pyramid in a small group and then broadcast it to the rest of the organization, on the ecosystem. You have to work as a network. You have to include people in decision making. In communication, up to now, communicators or corporate communicators have often been the people who were standing in the middle, because they were the best ones for communication. So they were standing in the middle between the corporation and its audience. So everything was going through them, and they were the best people to craft the message, to put it in a way that can be understood by certain types of audiences. And they were the spokesperson, because they were the only one that were entitled to speak on behalf of the corporation. And this has worked well until recently, and I think the model is broken now with the development of social networks, with the disintermediation. Those types of positions that were in the middle are no longer viable and no longer relevant. So what is relevant now is to enable the organization to become a social organization, meaning enable it to have this dialogue with stakeholders, with the ecosystem. And having a dialogue with millions of clients requires much more than one spokesperson or one per country. It's impossible to go through very narrow intermediation bodies. You have to engage your whole employees. They are the resources for connection, and they are currently totally unutilized, unused for this purpose. They are more often prevented from speaking on social media on behalf of the company. So I believe the communicators today and in the future have to become, instead of being the people who do the job of communication, they have to become the enablers of the whole organization, for the whole staff to become communicators on behalf of the organization. So their job will be, should be, in my views, to capacitate the people, to let them become good communicators. Because in the era of networks, what is exchanged is ideas, data, feelings, emotions, it's all communication. And I think it's a very critical role that communicators should have, but it requires a different set of skills. And it also requires a different type of organization to welcome, to enable the communicators to become coaches, I would say. Coaching the organization to become an engaging communicator is, I think, a very important mission. And as a consequence, the whole business transformation follows. You know, we have new skill sets, new people, new organization, new way of promoting those people, new ways of developing, of new competencies that you have to blend. So I think it's an opportunity for communicators to be at the forefront of business transformation. And I think they shouldn't miss this opportunity. It's very important for them to remain relevant. Their role is even more critical than before. It's an opportunity for them, and it's an opportunity for organizations and their clients and their employees. To retain the best talents, I think organizations should let go a little bit and understand that people are now empowered at home. They are empowered customers, citizens, and they want to be empowered at work as well. And you can't hire the very best talents around the world and then treat them like children once they are in the organization, right? Well, they have to ask for millions of authorization to do this or that. So I believe this is a very key issue in companies today, is how to balance the necessary level of control, compliance, etc. You know, excellence in execution is absolutely required, and the level of independence and autonomy that you give to the people. And I believe that flatter organizations are key in this respect. Moving from very pyramidal, top-down organizations to flatter, more networked organization is good for this respect. It's also good for pure business objectives that are, for example, linked to the speed of circulation of the information, which is much faster in a network-based organization than in a pyramidal, you know, silo-based, cascading type of organization. So I believe, yeah, independence, autonomy, network, social organizations, basically, to summarize it, is key to engaging people, to retaining people, to making them happy. Happiness is not just, you know, attained by setting up yoga classes in your organizations, right? This is nice, but it's not the must-have. The must-have today is to treat people like adults and to trust them. Trust is the key, I think.